Hello, everyone. It is Heather from Heather Travels. Hopefully you find this live. Still haven't figured out, since they made the changes to the live stream stuff on YouTube, how to schedule it and then get back into it. If somebody can help me with that, send me a private message. You started it. Okay, cool. So Megan just said she got a notification saying I started it. So hopefully a few of you will join. Hi, Cider. I can always count on Cider, my buddy, to be here. Thank you, Cider, for joining. So hopefully a few more people will find the live stream and join in. Hello, Shadow. If you cannot watch this live, I thank you for watching it later. And first thing I want to ask you right away before we get started on today's topic is I would like to ask you, please, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. And thank you very much for doing that. Okay, so today's live stream is going to be a 2019 year in review. We're going to look at and discuss our travels from 2019. And after that, we're going to talk about what upcoming travels we might have planned in 2020. So as I'm talking, if you have any questions about any of the things that we did in 2019, go ahead and put them in the chat and I will answer them as we go. And if you're not watching this live and you're watching it later, go ahead and put your questions in the comments below and I will always answer your questions, okay? So I'm going to go in chronological order through 2019 and talk about what we all did for travel in 2019. Okay, so the first thing in January was just Andrew went to Italy. And this was a J-term study abroad class that he was using to finish his history minor in college. And I made a video about the trouble that he had with his flights. He had a really hard time, especially going over to Italy. Yeah, that was a year ago, Shadow. I know, right? So actually, there are videos on my channel with about everything that I talk about today. So you can go back and look at my channel. There's going to be videos about all of that. Fearless, do you mean my happiest travel moment? Or just in general? Let me think about that. 2019, I'm not going to lie, was not a great year. It was not a great year for me. We had a lot of things. Yes, which? Yes, in general, or yes, travel related? We had a lot of things go wrong. It was not a good year for me. I'm very happy that 2019 is almost over, and I really hope that 2020 is better. Yeah, so travel related. Okay, let me think about that, Fearless, as I go and see if I can come back to that, okay? Okay, so January, Andrew went to Italy, and he was there for a month? He was there a long time. He went to Sicily first, and then he went to Naples and Rome, and he was in Rome for quite a while. And both going over and coming back, he went via Germany. He had to stop and change planes in Germany. So he got a couple of more countries under his belt. And I am pretty sure that Andrew has now been to more countries than I have. I'm pretty sure that's right. He would tell me if he was watching this, but oh no, it's Saturday. I was going to say he's at work, but it's Saturday, isn't it? Does he have work on Saturday? No. It's Christmas break. How many of you feel that way? It's Christmas break. I have no idea what day it is. I don't know what day of the week it is. I have absolutely no idea. Do the rest of you feel that way? Yeah, totally. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so, and it was really weird having Christmas on a Wednesday. That was weird. I don't know, it just felt weird. And poor Andrew, that was the only day he got off. I thought it was Monday yesterday. I thought yesterday was Saturday. I have no idea. Wednesday, Christmas Day, was the only day Andrew got off. So he came home here after work on Christmas Eve, and we ate dinner, we opened presents, we filmed a video, which will be coming up. No, he got off early, Cider. He got off at 3. I mean, he normally works till 5:30, but no. So We actually had McDonald's because I didn't want to cook. We had McDonald's, and then we opened presents. We watched Olaf's Frozen Adventure. If you haven't seen that, if you have Disney Plus, it's on there. I love Olaf's Frozen Adventure. And then we opened presents, and then we filmed a video, which is coming up next Friday. That one will be next Friday. I have another video coming up, kind of a little bonus video coming up on Tuesday, and then we have the next 2 weeks. We played some travel games, and so you guys can watch for those. They were kind of fun. And then the kids and I are actually, after we do this live stream, we're gonna film another travel game today that's going to be cruise related, because for January and February, basically like half of January and all of February, all my videos are going to be cruise related. So you can watch for those. Okay, going back to 2019 in review. So the next thing, nobody went anywhere in February. The next thing would be March. We, meaning me, Megan, and Ben, went to Walt Disney World. And so if you have not seen our whole Walt Disney World playlist, I did a vlog every day. And I did hotel reviews. We stayed at Pop Century. We didn't like it. Probably especially me. I didn't like it. I did food reviews of every restaurant that we ate at Walt Disney World, and those have actually done very well. It was kind of weird because at the beginning I was saying to the kids, you know, like in the first month or two after we got back from Disney World, I was saying, oh, my food review videos aren't doing very well. But those end up passing all the other Disney World videos. And like, I know the review I did of Pop Century Food Court is like my 8th or 9th most popular video on my channel now. And then the other one that really has done well, Liberty Tree Tavern. A lot of people have watched that one. And Chefs de France in the France Pavilion at Epcot, that one's gotten really popular. So those have all been, yeah, I know, isn't that weird? People, well, I suppose so. If you're trying to decide, there's so many restaurants at Disney World. And if you're trying to decide where to eat, you might, you know, look for stuff about it. And so, because how do you decide, especially if you've never been there before? So we went to Walt Disney World. It was very crowded. I did just right before I started this live stream. Hi. Yeah, I know. People love those Universal Yums videos. And I really have to thank Shadow helped me edit my December one. And it was so funny. If you guys have not watched, you lost $1,000 at Disney World? Hold on, I'm coming back to that. If you have not watched my December Universal Yums video, it's hilarious. You have to watch it. Also, which one had the peach rings? November?
The Spanish one.
The Spain one. That was pretty funny too. You have to watch that one. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Shadow, for posting that link. Okay, Fearless, you're going to have to tell us about this losing $1,000 at Disney World. I mean, Disney World will just take all your money for everything all the time, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, actually, we did the zooming later in editing. Yeah. So, but the editing, I got lots of editing help on that one from Ben, and it turned out really nice, the December one. Okay. So anyway, we went to Walt Disney World. We were there. That trip total was like 9 nights, maybe, because we stayed in a hotel here by the Minneapolis airport because our flight was super early. And then we stayed at Pop Century like 8 nights. Is that right? I think like 8 nights, 7, 8. I don't know. Anyway, and then the day we flew home from Walt Disney World, Andrew flew to Texas. He went to South Padre Island, Texas, with some friends from college for his spring break, because our spring break was the week before his. That's why we couldn't go anywhere together. And so we literally were flying back to the Minneapolis past each other. I think actually, if you watch the day 8 vlog of our Disney World trip, somebody stole your wallet? Oh my gosh. And you had cash in it? That's terrible. But like, you can't blame Disney World for that, right? I mean, that would be the fault of whoever took your wallet, wouldn't it? Oh, you watched the CCTV camera? They let you, a visitor, like a guest. It wasn't somebody that worked there, I hope. Anyway, what was I saying? If you watch our day 8 vlog, as Ben and I are leaving Epcot, because Megan went to Hollywood Studios and Ben and I went to Epcot, we're saying that Andrew was getting on a plane as we're at Epcot to go to South Padre Island. So he was flying to South Padre Island before we even left Walt Disney World to come home that night. So anyway, okay. Then April, May, June, that was the last time poor Andrew went anywhere. He has not gone anywhere. He graduated from college in May. He moved in with 3 of his college friends in a house in the Twin Cities. He started a new job in July, and now he's just been working, and he's just an adult now and hasn't been able to go anywhere since. So that was the last time Andrew went anywhere. I'm hoping that Andrew can go on more family trips with us, because the last time we took a family trip together, all 4 of us, was our cruise on the Disney Wonder in 2017. So it's been almost 3 years since we went on a family vacation together. So yeah, I know. I hope that he can go with us. The big thing with Andrew is I can't get him to plan ahead. He, like I plan ahead like a long time. Like I'm already figuring out what I want to do for vacations 3, 4, 5 years from now. And I have to do that, because otherwise there's no way I could ever pay for them. And I'm like, hey, would you want to do this with us in June? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. He doesn't even know. He can't even tell me that, 6 months from now. So it's tricky to get Andrew to agree to go anywhere with us, because I think part of it is that he just doesn't know what he's going to be doing. So anyway, that's kind of a bummer. Okay, then in July, well, there was a video about this, but I don't know if you would really count this as travel. We went to the zoo. We went to Minnesota Zoo in July and made a video about the zoo, but we didn't stay overnight or anything. We just went up for the day. And then in August, we went to Wisconsin Dells. And I have a whole bunch of videos on my channel about Wisconsin Dells. And those have gotten extremely popular. My tours of Great Wolf Lodge in Wisconsin Dells and my tour of Kalahari in Wisconsin Dells, and then a few of my other videos about the Kalahari have just skyrocketed. I mean, they bumped my Mariner of the Seas cruise videos off the top 6, and I mean, people have just really watched those tour videos of those resorts. I'm glad you love my waterfall videos. I do too. So then, we have a whole bunch of Wisconsin Dells videos. Then in September, there's no videos about this, but we had a little staycation. We had to go stay at a hotel in our own town for a few days, because we had, we had bats. You don't want bats. We had bats. And so we had to have some people come to our house and do a bunch of work on our roof and everything and get rid of the bats. I'm still paranoid that we still have bats, because I keep hearing this squeaking noise at night. It's freaking me out, but I think it's actually we have 100 and, how old is this house? It's 140. Our house is 140 years old this year. And in 2020, our house will be 140 years old. I don't know what month it was built, but it's really old. And Fearless, are you okay? Don't do that. Okay, so anyway, it makes all sorts of creepy noises. I had a really bad night last night because I keep hearing these creepy noises, and the house the temperature is changing a lot outside. Like today, it's actually supposed to rain, and it's December, and I just want snow. And it's my desk, but it has a fold down thing, and I close it when I do my videos, so you don't see all my piles of paperwork and stuff on there. I usually have my Epcot in my old other live streams, I usually have my Epcot sweatshirt on the back of that chair, but I wore it so much I'm like, I should probably wash this. So yeah. Anyway, Megan used to play the piano when she was younger. And then it came time about that still. She's still sad. We had an electric keyboard that my mom gave us. And but her piano teacher said that she had reached a point that she really needed to play on a real. Are you gonna cry? That she needed to play on a real piano, and it was a couple things. One, we didn't have room for it. Our house has a lot of windows and doors, and there's like almost no place in the house with a section of wall that's big enough for a piano. Right there, yeah, and so we couldn't figure out where to put it. And then the other thing they say is you really have to be careful with the piano. Yeah, and pianos are very expensive too. There's always people looking to give them away though, because yeah, so you can usually find one if you want to. But the other problem with the piano, because my grandfather was a piano tuner, to keep a piano in tune, you have to be careful with fluctuations in temperature. And because we have this very big, very old house, it can be hard we couldn't figure out where to put it basically. And so she quit piano lessons, and yeah. I was forced to. Sorry. She's sad. So anyway, I got off track completely. We went to Wisconsin Dells. Oh, September. We had a staycation because of the bats. Anyway, I'm sure they're probably gone. Are they gone? They're gone. I keep hearing this noise in my room. I think it's the pipes. We have hot water radiators. Okay, we have hot water radiators. Now, if I will admit it, sometimes when I'm down here at night, I will hear that same noise. I think it's when the heat has been on and and then we turn it down at night when we go to bed. And so it's like the changing of the temperature in the pipes that carry the hot water. I think they creak is what I think it is. So anyway, but moving on. So we stayed in this really nice suite at this brand new Hampton Inn in town. It was great. And then when we came back, supposedly the bats are all gone. And they fixed the roof, so they can't get in anymore. Okay. It was super expensive. Okay. Then in October, we took 2 trips. And that was what Cider was mentioning. It's almost 60 degrees in DC right now. Good grief. Does it ever snow there, Cider? You just finished hiking on a mountain? What mountain? Anyway. Yay! Hey, Annika. We went up north, and those are some of, I really love those videos, and that was such a cool trip, and it was so fun and neat. And they don't get hardly any views. So if you haven't watched those views from they're in a playlist called Northern Adventure. We went up to the north shore of Minnesota, up on the western side of Lake Superior, and we rode this really cool gondola in Lutsen, Minnesota, which is almost to Canada. And we went to Split Rock Lighthouse. That video is so fun. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it after this. And because it's gotten like, where I lost my soul. Yes, where Megan lost her soul because the wind blew it away. And oh, sorry. And thank you everyone for joining. And then later, there's another video that is just super awesome video, and like hardly anybody watched it. Was our Jack-o'-lantern spectacular at the Minnesota Zoo. If you haven't watched that video, go back and check that one out. Because we mentioned in that video that about how Megan lost her soul again at the Split Rock Lighthouse. So go back and watch those. And then I love the watch out place when it started healing. Yes. That was at Copper Falls State Park, 60 degrees in Georgia. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we went to Split Rock Lighthouse. We went to Lutz, Minnesota, and rode the gondola. And then we went to 2 state parks that were actually back in Wisconsin, in northern Wisconsin. The first one was Amnicon Falls State Park, and just amazing waterfalls there. It was really cool. And I'd never been to that one before. And then we went to Copper Falls State Park, and it was the weirdest weather day ever. When we were at Amnicon Falls State Park in the morning, and then we went to Copper Falls State Park in the afternoon. And Copper Falls, it was like all 4 seasons in one afternoon. It was so weird. It was like sunny, rain, hail, snow, and then around again. It was the weirdest thing, and we got caught in the hail. And there's a video about that. So yeah, and that was a really fun trip. And it was just a regular weekend, wasn't it, guys? Wasn't just we went up on Friday after school and we came back on Sunday. So it was a lot of driving, but. And then at the end of October, we had 2 days off for like a fall break. We had a Thursday and a Friday off. And so we went off to, yes, the trees here are beautiful. We went to America, and we stayed at the Great Wolf Lodge in Bloomington, Minnesota, which we like very much. It's very nice. And so if you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go back and watch those. And I'm surprised that the video tours of those have not done as well as the one from Wisconsin Dells. But my guess on that would be that so many people go to Wisconsin Dells, and I think a lot of people come up from like Chicago and Milwaukee to Wisconsin Dells. And so I think just a lot more people visit Wisconsin Dells than go to Bloomington and Mall of America. You never get off school, ever? Are you off school right now? Oh, if you get a centimeter of snow. Oh, yes. Cider, you must watch my Misadventures in Travel Bahamas drama video. And I talk in that video about how our flight got canceled because they got like a half an inch of snow in St. Louis? I'm pretty sure it was St. Louis. And I joke about how that middle of the country, across the middle band of the country, if they get any snow at all, everything closes because they don't know what to do. They're like, oh, there was snow, and they freak out. And up here we have to get 25 feet or something before anything closes. Do you guys ever miss school with all of your trips? Not lately. The last time we missed school, the kids did miss 2 days when we went to Disney World. I think they missed 2 days when we went to Disney World. And that was simply because I was able to get a better price on flights by flying on a Thursday or whatever it was. And so, but otherwise we try not to. Especially for Megan, our high school is on a block schedule. So she only has 4 classes a day, and they're 80 minutes long. And so if you miss a day or 2 of those classes of that length, it's like missing like 3-4 days of school. So they have not missed a single day of school this year, knock on wood. And we're really trying not to. So I don't think I've ever seen a pool. Yeah, if you guys have not watched my Misadventures in Travel series, that was like the first videos I shot for my channel. And it was before I realized I should be filming horizontally and stuff like that. But it's all my old travel, like disaster stories. It's like everything that went wrong. And most of them are from when I was younger and I was traveling with my dad. And some of them are actually kind of serious and scary, like when I lost Andrew at Niagara Falls. But some of them are absolutely hilarious. And so, or we were just stupid. And I've noticed that I don't really have any since I've been an adult. Because apparently, except for the last one I did. The last one we filmed was the one called something about I lost my mind or we forgot everything. It was from 2 summers ago, taking Megan to camp, and we forgot like all the stuff. And then I left my purse at Noodles, and we had to drive like 2 extra hours out of the way to go back and get my purse. And yeah. Oh, that intro with the breaking glass. That's just for the Misadventures in Travel series. If I make any more Misadventures in Travel videos, it will have that same intro. That's the Misadventures in Travel intro. So it's designed to sound like a disaster. Anyway, I don't know how I got on. I got on that because of the snow in St. Louis. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we went to Bloomington. You were going to Philippines. Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. Share some pictures when you come back. We did a whole bunch of stuff at Mall of America, and the last video from that trip just posted yesterday. It was our review of the Hampton Inn in Eagan, Minnesota. And that was our last time going anywhere in 2019, was so at the end of October. We have not gone anywhere here in November or December. And we also don't have anything planned in, well, probably till spring break, which our spring break is in March. So, but don't worry, I have a whole bunch of videos already filmed, and I'm working on editing, and I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up for you guys. So there will still be at least one video a week until we go someplace again. So, oh yeah, make a video. That'd be good. So anyway, that was our 2019. And all the vlogs from 2019 are up on my channel now. So there's no other 2019 travel stuff coming up on my channel. What restaurant do you recommend from Disneyland? Disneyland in California?
No, the other Disneyland.
Disneyland Paris? Do you mean Disneyland or Disney World? I just want to make sure, because that is a common, you know, people use the names interchangeably, and I just want to make sure that's what you mean, Mariah. Do you mean Disneyland in California, or do you mean Disney World in Florida? Okay, Disneyland in California. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch my Disneyland video. I think I posted it like a year ago. Dining in Disneyland is a little bit tricky. They do not have as many sit-down restaurants as Disney World does. Disneyland is obviously a lot smaller. I can tell you a couple of my favorites, though. Flo's V8 Cafe in Disney California Adventure is really cute and good, and they have good food. And it's a counter service, but they have it's good hearty food. And there's a couple of cool character meals there. The Lamplight Lounge, it's also in California. All the good restaurants are in California Adventure, quite honestly. In that like Pacific Wharf area. In Disneyland Park, Carnation Cafe, I would recommend. Is there a plaza in Disneyland?
Is there?
Yeah, with the fried chicken.
No idea.
My gosh, it's been so long since I've been there. I'm sorry. And then over in New Orleans Square, Blue Bayou, which is inside the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Bye, Annika. Thank you for joining. And what's the other one? What's the other New Orleans one where they have the Monte Cristo?
I don't know.
I can't think of it. Shoot. Went to Disney World with my sister a long time ago. She went to the boutique and her hair started pulling out. Oh no. You mean Bibbidi Boppity Boutique? Who was she trying to dress up as, Cider? Which was she trying to dress up as one of the princesses? Yeah, which princess? Do you remember? Megan went there when she was 4, and they did her as Tiana. Yeah. They did her. Do they not have any Black Fairy godmothers? I'm kind of surprised. I would think that they would. So that they could, you know, have experience with their hair. I can't remember. But Megan dressed up as Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, and I have a picture of her upstairs. But yeah, they do a lot of stuff to your hair. They put extensions on you, didn't they, Megan? Yeah, they put extensions on her hair and all this glitter and all sorts of stuff. And she didn't keep it on very long. I mean, like, we went to Cinderella's castle after that for lunch. And so she's in all the pictures with all the princesses that we met at Cinderella's castle. And as soon as we were done with lunch, she's like, can I take this off? she was super uncomfortable. So that's too bad. Did her hair, I mean, was it okay? Like, did it grow back okay? I feel bad. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, let's move on to 2020. Mariah, if I didn't answer your question adequately, let me know. There's another restaurant that's really good in, okay, good. There's another restaurant that's really good in New Orleans Square, and that's like all I can think of right now. But there are fewer sit-down restaurants at Disneyland than there are in Disney World. Okay, let's talk about 2020. And as usual, 2020 is kind of an unknown at this point. And here's the reason why. Okay, first I'm going to tell you what I want to do. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yay, have fun. Okay, this is what I want to do. Every year for the rest of my life, I want to do 3 things every year. I want to go on a cruise every year. I want to do something Disney every year. And I want to go somewhere I have never been before every year. That's what I want to do. Okay? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it would have to be 3 separate trips. For example, I want to do a cruise to Norway. That would be a cruise and somewhere I've never been before because I've never been to Norway. So that could be two things off that list in one trip, right? Okay. Or it could even be all 3 in one. I could do a Disney cruise to Alaska. That would be Disney, a cruise, and Alaska, someplace I've never been before. So that could be all of those things in one. So, but I really want to be able to do that. I would like to be able to do each of those things every year. Now, I like cruises very much. I love the ocean, but honestly, for kind of selfish reasons, I really think that going on more cruises will help my channel. My cruise videos, except for those Kalahari and Great Wolf ones that shot up there, my cruise videos remain my most popular videos, and those were early in my channel, and I don't think they're like even the best vlogs. You know, I hadn't learned very much about how to vlog and stuff back then. But cruise, if you don't know, cruise channels are extremely popular. And other travel YouTubers who do a variety of things like I do will admit to you that their cruise videos are always their Disney or anything. So, yeah, I know that Skypad video is crazy. And I just did that on a whim because we were just walking around doing our upper deck tour and the kids are like, hey mom, can we do this right now? And I'm like, sure. And so I videotaped it, and that's like one of my that is literally my most popular video on my channel. Oh, did you hear? What did I hear? I don't know. What? About the guy who broke when it broke that and got hurt? I don't know if that's what you're gonna say. Yes, I saw it on the day it happened. The 2 Carnival cruise ships that hit each other. They called it an illusion. They did not even have to take those ships out of service, Cider. They continued on their normal schedules, both ships. That can happen, unfortunately. That actually is not the error of the captain. When there's high winds or high waves, sometimes even the bow thrusters and cannot control the ship just drifting. And so they actually the ocean will push them into each other. And they're saying that that's what happened there. One of the ships was already docked and the other one was trying to dock. And because it was high winds, it actually pushed the ship into the other one. And so, yeah, it happens. I'm not going to say that the crew on that Carnival ship didn't get disciplined, but some So, but they didn't even take the one that got crunched so bad on the back. They didn't even take it out of service. They were able to make the repairs while it was at sea, and they didn't even have to cancel any of the upcoming cruises, which I think is crazy. The only times that they really cancel is like mechanical issues where like the engine's not working right or the propellers aren't working right, because that will affect the speed of the cruise ship and will affect all the itineraries. And so then they'll usually take the ship out for repairs and they'll have to cancel some cruises. You might have seen in the news the Carnival Mardi Gras, which is their newest ship that was supposed to be ready in August. The shipyard, this isn't Carnival's fault, the shipyard is delayed and the construction of the Mardi Gras is delayed. And so Carnival's not going to take possession of the ship from the shipyard until late October. So all of the August, September, and October cruises that people were booked on got canceled. So bummer. But the one thing that, oh, that's fine. The one thing that hurricanes are not a problem. They very rarely cancel a cruise for a hurricane. The thing about hurricanes is you can predict where they're going to go. And the things about ships is they can move. And so there's lots of cruise ships out there when there's hurricanes. They just steer around them. What happens with hurricanes that messes people up is the hurricane hits land and then it affects the airport or it affects the port, and that stuff all shuts down. And what you'll see will happen sometimes is cruise ships will get stuck out at sea and they just have to sit there waiting for all that stuff to open back up so they can come back in and dock and let everybody off. That's what will happen, and it'll mess up the itinerary of that cruise and the one after it. But it's extremely unlikely that your cruise is ever going to get canceled for a hurricane. If they have to do anything, bye Mariah, thanks for joining today. If they have to do anything, they will adjust the itinerary. So for example, maybe you were scheduled on an Eastern Caribbean cruise and now there's a hurricane going to come in the path of where your ship was supposed to go. They'll change the itinerary and they'll switch it to a Western Caribbean or a Southern Caribbean, and they'll just go someplace different. They do that all the time. It's very unlikely that your cruise is going to get canceled for a hurricane. So 5 as of right now. Okay. And 2 during hurricane season. Had no problems whatsoever. Weather was beautiful. Okay. So, all right. Going back to 2020 and our outlook for 2020. Thank you guys, though, for asking these questions. This is really good. Unlimited ice cream. That's right. Okay. I'm going to break. Okay. So I told you what I really want to do. Now, here's the deal with us for travel all the time, at least right now. Having ideas of where we want to go is never a problem. My list of places I want to go and take the kids is huge. I have so many ideas of places I want to go with them. I will never get to them all. Okay. And my cruise was my favorite out of all 5. Disney Magic in 2001 with my son Andrew, 7-night Eastern Caribbean. Okay. And time is not a problem for us because actually, we have 16 weeks a year, I think, of no school. So there's plenty of time, and I work at the schools. So when the kids are off, I'm off. So we have lots and lots of time to travel. Our problem is always the same: money. So we just never have enough money to do the things that we want to do. And really realistically, now going back to even 12, 13 years ago, 2007, we used to take 3, 4, 5 big trips a year. 2007 was the last year that was like that. That was the year my husband and I made the most money in our lives up to that point. And we were married, so we had 2 incomes. And we went to London. We went to Texas. Andrew's dad graduated from boot camp in the military in Oklahoma, and so we took him down to Texas at Oklahoma for that. Thank you, Noise. Okay, and then my husband and I went to Georgia on a trip, and we went to Las Vegas. So all in one year. That was how travel was for our family for many years, like when I was a kid and up until about 2007. 2008, my husband lost his job, and I had I stopped working. Well, no, I stopped working in 2004 when I had you. I don't know. Why did we have so much money in 2007? I don't remember. But anyway, so since then, we've really kind of been limited to like one big trip where we're flying a year, which is unfortunate. And so I would definitely like to do more than that. Okay, so it's always money. Money is always the obstacle. And that's why I can't tell you for certain which of these things will or will not definitely happen. But here's how I'm going to break it down. In 2020, I'm going to tell you the things that will definitely be happening, the things that will probably happen, and then the maybes we want to do, okay? 2 things will definitely be happening. The first one, which you can watch for this coming up on my channel, I won 4 tickets to the Ice Castles. The Ice Castles appears in a bunch of different cities, and they have it in the Twin Cities, and I won 4 tickets. Cool, on a Facebook giveaway. So it was really cool. And honestly, I think I won because I was like the only person who did the instructions, like followed the instructions exactly. Like a whole bunch of people put comments, but they didn't do it right. And so that was really cool. I know, I do too, Noise. If I get monetized, we could go on more trips. That's exactly right. That's subscribe. Okay. So anyway, we're definitely going to be going to the Ice Castles, and there will be a video coming up about that. And then the other thing that is definitely happening in 2020 is Megan is going to France, right?
And Switzerland.
And Switzerland. She's going to France and Switzerland without me.
Bye.
Yeah, she's not sad about it. She's going with her French teacher and 12 other kids. 12 other students from her school.
From my school.
From her school.
There are other schools.
Right. They grouped together with like 2 other schools. Now, her brother Andrew did the same thing when he was, it was a year older. Megan, it's going to be the summer here between her sophomore and junior year in high school. Andrew did same teacher and everything between his junior and senior year in high school. Now, when Andrew went, yes, I know. Now, when Andrew went, actually, Noise, the watch hours is not, I'm way ahead on watch hours. It's the subscribers I'm having trouble with. Anyway, same for Ben. We have tons of watch hours. We just can't, I cannot figure out what it takes to get people to subscribe. I don't get it. Anyway, okay, so when Andrew went to France, they always go to Paris. She takes this trip every other year. Yeah, no. She takes this trip every other year, and she tries to vary the itinerary. And for a while, she was doing southern, northern France. This year, it's a completely new itinerary, Megan is saying, that she's never done before. And that's why Megan really wanted to go, and I would totally go with her if I could, because it's a really cool itinerary. They're going to the French Alps. When Andrew went, it was northern France, and so he got to go to like Normandy and the beaches and everything up there, and then Paris. And so Megan is going to be flying to, where are you flying to? Bern?
Somewhere in
Switzerland. And then they're going to be spending the majority of the trip is all in the French Alps. So she's going to be in the mountains. And Megan has promised that she's going to take, little snippets of video whenever she can. And I will put her footage together I mean, she's not going to be able to do big, long vlogs or anything because she's going to be in a group and she's not really supposed to be on her phone, but she's going to do what she can. And thank you, Noise. She's going to do what she can. And I will put together her footage that she takes, maybe with pictures and stuff, when she comes back. So she's doing that in June. She'll be gone for 2 weeks. And part of it is a homestay portion. So she'll be staying with a French family in France. And so she's really excited about that and looking forward to that, right?
Yeah.
Santa brought an international adapter in her stocking. Okay, so those are the 2 things that are definitely going to happen in 2020 that you can watch out for. Okay, here's the things that are probably pretty likely going to happen. I want to go to the Renaissance Festival in Minnesota. I've only been to it once, and it was when I was in high school. And I just think, I read a book recently. It was called Well Met by Jen DeLuca. And it was a really funny, cool novel. And it was about these people doing a Renaissance Festival in this town. And it got me kind of like excited. And I'm like, I want to go to the Renaissance Festival again. And I think it would just be really fun. And the kids have never been to one. And so that's in like August, September, October is when they have that. So sometime around there, we'll have a video or 2 from the Renaissance Festival. Okay. What is a Renaissance Festival? Is that what you're asking, Cider? It's okay. Well, the Renaissance from European history, which came after the medieval period, was a period of renewal and great advances in art and science. It's like when Leonardo da Vinci was alive, and they have and Michelangelo and all that. And so they have people put on these festivals that's all Renaissance stuff. And it's like a lot of like food tents and games and activities. There's people jousting like on real horses, and everybody's in costumes. Yeah. So it's like going into like Shakespeare's village and like visiting it is what it's kind of like. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then we're probably going to do that. And then very likely I want to do another fall getaway to take advantage of the pretty colors. Yes, I am a history teacher. To take advantage of the pretty colors. This year, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to Door County. If you do not know where Door County is, if you look at the map of Wisconsin, and there's that little peninsula that sticks out into Lake Michigan, that's Door County. And there's a whole bunch of, I am a huge lighthouse fan. I love lighthouses. And there's a whole bunch of lighthouses and neat state parks and stuff over there. And my students do subscribe to me, and they talk about it at school all the time. And it's supposed to be very pretty in the fall. It's very popular in the fall. I actually need to make the hotel reservation as soon as January 1st comes. That's when they open up for the new year to take reservations. It's kind of a seasonal place to visit. Nothing's really open over there in the winter. And so, because last year when I looked, I couldn't get a hotel to save my life over there in Door County. So, we're probably going to go to Door County that same weekend in October, like that second weekend of October that we went up north in Minnesota this year. So we'll get the cool fall colors and everything. But that'll be more of like a water one too, because the one up north, we were on Lake Superior. This will be on Lake Michigan. So you can look forward to that. Okay. And then the 2 undetermined, don't know for sure what we're going to do. I literally have about 4,000 reservations made on about 50 options because I don't know what we're going to be able to do. We definitely want to do something at spring break because we had snow before Thanksgiving. And so it's already been winter here for over a month. And I can imagine by the time we get to March, we're going to be just like, oh. And so we're really going to want to get away someplace that's not winter. So I have a whole bunch of options in mind. How about you guys tell me? Disneyland, cruise, Europe. What would you like to see? Where should we go for spring break? Okay, give me your ideas in the chat or in the comments below. Where do you think we should go for spring break? That one is that whole thing, and like our big travel trip of the year is, yeah, that's what we want to do too, is our dependent on our tax refund. So, and basically I end up having to book it last minute with our tax refund is what happens. So that remains to be seen. But we're hoping to definitely do a big trip, which will involve in March. So, and like if it ends up being like Disney World was this past year, my vlogs from Disney World lasted us through like July. So, okay. And then the other thing that is kind of an unknown, and we're going to have to kind of see what happens, is when Megan is in France, I would really like to do something with Ben, because Ben and I, well, it's just, we don't want to be sitting at home bored while she's in France having fun in France. So, yes, exactly. One very possible option is Ben would really like to go to VidCon. VidCon is happening at the Anaheim Convention Center in California during the time that Megan is going to be in France. And so we are very strongly considering that. Here's the thing. Megan doesn't want us to go to Disneyland without her. And Disneyland is literally across the street from the Anaheim Convention Center. It's in June. And so it's like the 17th through 20th, June 17th through 20th, I think. Anyway, and so like we're trying to decide like, okay, would we want to go to VidCon and like not go into Disneyland even though it's right there? Because we don't want her to be sad. The other option I'm considering is maybe we won't go to VidCon, because I think, Ben, would you say you're a lot more interested in going to it than I am? Yeah. And we also were thinking maybe it might be more worthwhile for us to wait and go to it when both our channels are monetized and we do the creator tracks, and we can go to like the workshops and stuff that like teach you like more like the business side of it. So that might be something we do in a future year too. And then the other thing is, what I'm kind of considering is maybe going to D23 Expo, which is every other year at the Anaheim Convention Center. That's the Disney official fan club. They have a convention at the Anaheim Convention Center every other year. They had one this year in 2019. The next one is basically over my birthday in 2021. And so I would kind of like to do that. And then we could all go to Disneyland together. So that's a possibility for 2021. Watch on D23's YouTube channel, watch their highlights from this year's D23. It's like, oh my gosh, how could you not want to go to that? There's so many famous people and stuff. And cool, they make all these park announcements and movie announcements and all this stuff. And all these Disney booths and everything. But okay. So then a couple other possibilities for Ben and I, if we have enough money, while Megan is in France, if we don't go to VidCon, I'm also considering taking him to San Francisco, because San Francisco is high on Ben's list of places he wants to see. And I'm also considering maybe a shorter, less expensive cruise, Bud, just you and me, because for the two of us, it'd be cheap. So those are all possibilities. It's all really going to depend on our tax refund and how much that is and what we decide to do over spring break, and like if there's any money left over. The other thing that's kind of an unknown in 2020 is we might be moving. Like I said, this house is 140 years old and it's a nightmare. We love our house. It's very pretty and very big and a maintenance nightmare for a single mom like me. And I just can't deal with it anymore. And I really don't want to own a house anymore. And so we might be, yeah, we could do a moving blog, yeah. We might be, that's travel, isn't it? Moving. We might be moving, and so there's expenses with moving. And so depending on if we move and the timing of when we move might affect some of these things too. So being a planner, I really hate that I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing even like 3 months from now, but I have lots and lots of ideas. And so hopefully we'll get to do some really cool, fun stuff. And hopefully 2020 will be a much happier, more joyful, positive year than 2019 was. And we won't have anything more creepy like bats in our attic. Okay, so does anybody have any last minute questions or anything? Okay, and if you're not watching this live right now and you're watching it later, please leave any comments or questions that you have in the comments below, and I will be sure to answer those. And I thank you all for joining us for this live stream today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please take a minute right now and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, and safe travels.